Yeah, yeah. Took the whole team to the promised land. Rest in peace to my father, man. Wish you could have seen the plan.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode 14 of the two-man game. I'm kind of sad about this episode because we're going to be talking about basketball for a little while. But I mean, it's obviously the finals and Warriors beat the Celtics 4-2. I know you're happy about that, Warriors fan.
Maybe I should change my hat real quick and throw on the Warriors.
Maybe you should have did that. You should have decked it out, all everything. So, here we go. Here we. He had it on standby.
Had it ready, baby. Come on, man.
But yeah, so it was a very entertaining series. The Celtics were sort of just like the young team, trying to overcome a very veteran-heavy Warriors team that's been there. And in the end, I mean, the Warriors showed it all series or all playoffs, really. Their veteran leadership. I mean, Iguodala didn't play, but you saw the video of him talking to Wiggins. You're like, come here, man. Like, come on, dog. Like, you got to pick it
Gary
up.
Payton, too. He was talking to him, gaming
Yep.
him up.
Talking to GP. And, I mean, in the end, that experience, it always matters. So,
Yeah, it definitely. It was a great series. Warriors win 4-2. Give a little quick recap. Game 1, Warriors played pretty well, but Celtics had a historic fourth quarter.
man.
I believe they scored 40 points, started the fourth quarter off. I believe it was 7-7, 8 of 8 from three. They're into everything. So Celtics win game 1. Game 2, Warriors bounce back, get the dub. They blew them out pretty good. Draymond Green showed a good effort. He was playing a lot better than what he was in game 1. He had a roll up and down series, but towards the end really picked it up. Game 3, Celtics win. It was they controlled the game for most of the game. They were ahead. The Warriors made like a little second half push, but it just wasn't enough. The hole was too deep. Game 4, probably my favorite game of the whole series. Steph Curry goes for 43, cooking them. Definitely a good game. They needed every single point from Steph Curry that night too. So
I think he had 10 boards that game too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
He had a double-double.
Yeah, he was killing it that night. Game 5, tied up series. I believe it's like 76% of the time. Game 5 winner ends up winning the series, so that was a big game. Andrew Wiggins 26 and I believe it was 12, 13. Yeah, big double. He stepped up huge. Steph Curry didn't play great, but the guys around him were able to pick up the slack. So that was good. Steph Curry, he didn't shoot the ball great from three. Everything, like, he was pretty efficient from the twos, layups, mid-range, and he had 8 assists and only 1 turnover that game. So that was big.
He was terrible from three. He didn't hit one.
Yeah, he was 0 for 9, 0 for 9. And then he comes back in the next game and scores 34 in Boston to win the series. That was pretty special. I think most of the big stars in the NBA, they have that like game against the Celtics. LeBron has it, Kobe has it, MJ has it, Magic has it, and Steph Curry going into Boston and finishing them off in Boston. I think that was kind of put the stamp on his career, even though he was obviously one of the best players of all time already, in my opinion. I think just him being able to perform in Boston like that was special against one of the better defensive teams in the league. Boston was really good defensively, and it seemed like Steph Curry had the cheat sheet for them. He was able to do whatever he wanted. So we've had a couple days to kind of rethink, relive, look at, highlights, all this. What are your initial thoughts about the finals and how it all played out?
Yeah, so again, it was a great series. It was very entertaining, and it was way more entertaining than I thought people would think. I mean, I had the Warriors in 6. I kind of switched up a lot. I had the Warriors in 6, and I had the Warriors in 7. I switched up a bunch, but in the end, I thought the Warriors would get them. I mean, the Celtics, it's their first time in the finals. I mean, they've been to the conference finals with Tatum, with Brown, with Smart, and with Horford, but never been to this stage. And it kind of showed a little bit with all the turnovers, even though not taking nothing away from the Warriors defense. They played great defense, had a good game plan. Ime got out coached, which I thought would happen. But I mean, they just Steve Kerr and them boys, man. They just every year they're healthy. It's just same stuff. And one thing that I love about the Warriors is like I feel like every other team with stars is ISO heavy, but this team they get the ball swinging. Draymond's always there for a little, dribble handoff, and you saw he got I forgot what game it was, but he got Robert Williams on a fake handoff and ended up going.
I think that was game 5, and that was a good start to the game too.
Yeah, going in for a dunk. He always does that. Like once a series, twice a series, with the dribble handoffs, and then he'll get you.
Got to keep him honest. So
gotta keep him honest.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yep. So I mean, in the end, man, the Warriors are so smart, man. They're so smart. Steve Kerr, phenomenal job as always. And what I love about Curry, and I feel like he's better than anybody ever at, is moving off the ball.
Oh, without a question.
As a star player, you don't see that a lot. I mean, even Bron, even KD, even all the top guys, Luka, they get the ball out of their hands and they're just sitting there.
Yeah, standing around watching.
Exactly. Harden is a victim. He does it a lot. But the thing about Curry, he'll get the ball, he'll move it. He ain't afraid that he won't dribble it. He'll throw it, give it to Draymond, and he's running. Right. And obviously he's the best shooter of all time. So that it's just so much to cover. And we talk about his gravity all the time. Gravity. And you're looking at him, Clay gets open. Poole gets open. Wiggins.
Someone slipped to the basket.
Exactly. Yeah. And they're always slipping to the basket. Guys like Otto Porter. I was impressed with Otto Porter's game. Former Wizard, by the way.
You guys are producing what you say, like finals role players or something like that.
Absolutely. For 6 straight years. So I think we deserve some credit for that. We breed role players.
Yeah, you guys.
So I think, once Rui gone, like Rui or somebody like that, once they're gone, they're probably going to win the championship. And we deserve all those rings too. But like I said, in the end, man, Warriors are so smart. Championship DNA, and that's really it.
Yeah. Looking at the whole series, I think what really popped out to me was the Celtics turnovers. They averaged 16 turnovers a game in the finals, and their record, it was going into the finals, they were like 1-6 when they have over 16 turnovers, and when they're under 16 turnovers, the record was great. So that was like their main factor, or tipping point, I should say. If they're going to win a game, they got to keep the turnovers down. And that's for any basketball team. Turnovers are a big part of the game. But for the Warriors to be able to force all these turnovers, that was really impressive to me. Their defense was really able to step up. In the 4 losses that the Celtics, every loss that the Celtics lost in the finals, they didn't score over 100 points. And their turnovers were always high too. So that's just showing how locked in the Warriors were on the defensive end. Gary Payne II was huge. Andrew Wiggins was huge. Draymond Green was huge on defense, what he was able to do. The Steph Curry, he was actually pretty legit defensively. He was able to cause some turnovers, get a lot of strips and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
underrated defender.
Yeah, definitely. He was able to hold his own. Besides that one game where he was in foul trouble, he was getting cooked, but you can't be aggressive if you're in foul trouble. So it makes sense. But just the Warriors defense, man, that was something that really stuck out to me, because all year they've been really good defensively. They've been a top 5 defense all year, but what they're able to do in that finals, man, the Tatum, a guy who averaged 27 in the regular season.
First team All-NBA player.
Yeah, first team All-NBA. He averaged 21 and a half, so basically 22, 7 and 7, which is, those numbers aren't terrible, but his shooting field goal percentage wasn't very good. 36% from the field, but he shot 45% from 3. Yeah. So in a lot of the games too, Tatum would start off really good, and then second half he was missing a little bit, missing as not on the court, like you didn't know where he was, and missing jump shots. But
that was the weird part about that I mean, his stat lines are weird. Like he shot 30-something%, but he shot 40-something% from three.
Yeah,
That's like a weird stat
should
line.
have just kept chucking threes. That's what he
Yeah,
should have been doing.
at that point, yeah, shoot him up.
But him and Brown averaged 23 and a half and 7, and he 43% from the field, 34% from three. So those numbers aren't great. So that it just the Warriors defense, man, they were really able to make it tough for the Celtic Stars. And for a lot of the series too, you didn't hear from the others going off. Marcus Smart had a good game 3 where that was the game they won, and he had the good game 1. But also Derek White had a great night that night too. Al Horford had a great night in game 1. So just the defense, man. I'm gonna keep saying that their defense was fucking special the whole series. And Steph Curry MVP, Finals MVP. That was great to see too. It was kind of just the stamp on his legacy. Even though I already think he's one of the best players to ever play the game. I don't know if, like we said before, I don't know if he's a top 10 player to who's ranking him and whatnot, but I know that he's definitely one of the best players to ever play the game. So
yeah. We'll have to get into the top 10 one of these episodes, especially while there's no basketball going on. We'll have to debate that. But in terms of Curry, man, he had low key, even though his shooting numbers were down in terms of 3-point percentage this year. Yeah, one of the greatest seasons ever. I mean, if you look at all the accolades he acquired and won this year. So
3-point record,
broke the 3-point record, all-star,
MVP, Magic Johnson MVP,
first ever Western Conference Final MVP, and then he gets his first
MVP.
Ever Finals MVP. So that's one of the greatest seasons ever from an accolade standpoint.
No, a couple years back he won. It was he won the chip. He won a gold medal and an MVP. It was I think like one of the FIBA championships or something like that. But I was like, wow, that's a hell of a run. But then this past year, that's a hell of a run too.
Yeah.
But I gotta give my flowers to Wiggins because he stepped up huge defensively. Obviously, what he was doing on Tatum, that was great. But then he was solid the whole finals.
Right.
He was able to make timely shots, able to get timely rebounds. He was killing it, man. And just the other Warriors, Gary Payne II, we already mentioned him, but his defense and his able to roam around the court and be able to find open spots in the defense and get layups. He was hitting some threes. Kevon Looney was big all playoffs for the Warriors. That was great to see.
Shout out Kevon Looney. He played every single game.
This year. Yeah, and
shout out to him.
He was huge. He was huge. Like it with him, it's pretty funny. Like I love when he brings the Warriors, but sometimes when he be missing layups, I'm like, yo, what the fuck? No, but overall though, Kevon Looney, he was huge for the Warriors. They don't win if he's not on their team this year. Yeah, because like his ability to be able to switch on the perimeter guys and actually hold his own most of the part, he's able to do his thing. So that was cool. And Klay Thompson, he didn't have the best finals, but his impact was still felt. And I thought his defense was actually pretty solid in key points of the games. He was able to get stops and play good defense. He averaged 17 on not the best shooting numbers, but he was still solid. And if Klay Thompson's on the court, you gotta give him attention.
I was
regardless.
just about to say that Klay wasn't Klay, but the fact that he is Klay, it just brings a different element to the team. Yeah, just the anomaly of Klay being out there. Like what he could do, what he brings to the table. So I agree.
Yeah, no, you couldn't have said it any better. But with me, he gets a lot of like people are like, oh, he's washed, he's this, he's that. I can't judge him up until I think this next season. That's when I would judge how his play was, because coming off 2 major injuries, he played not even half the season and full playoffs.
Man, recency bias is I hate it so much.
Yeah, it's like,
it's all about what your last game was. And of course, I mean, he didn't have the best series. Now all of a sudden he's washed. And forget about what Clay is. And on a full healthy season or without the injuries, we know what Clay is capable of. So
he averaged 20 in the regular season. So
yeah,
I mean, that's pretty good.
The end of the season, he got hot towards the end of the season.
And I want to give a quick shout out to Rob Williams though, because he was playing hurt and you could tell that he was hurt, but his impact still was crazy, blocking shots. He was solid for them. So hopefully he can come back next year healthy and see what happens. But looking at the Celtics, where do you think they can improve for next year to try to make a run again?
Oh man, the bench. They got no production the last 3 games of the series. They just got no production at all, and it was sad to see because I feel like Tatum and Brown kind of ran out of gas.
Yeah,
because they're playing 40-some minutes a night, getting double teamed. They're getting forced left where they're getting ripped and turning the ball over. It was just tough on them when your bench is not doing anything. And obviously, your bench is not going to come in and win games. But if your bench can keep you in the game and give you some rest for you to come back in and play those third and fourth quarters, and it's huge. So
yeah, I agree. They're like only being able to play like 7-8 guys for a full playoff run. I think that's going to get to you eventually,
especially when you just played 2 back-to-back 7-game series. Right, against tough physical teams like in the Bucks. So I think they kind of ran out of gas a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I think get some more bench productions. Try to find someone who could give you a little bit of spark. I love what Derek White brings to the table.
Yeah.
I think Grant Williams will be good for them too. He was good for them all playoffs. So I think just adding another piece to give you a little bit more production, that will be pretty big for them. And we'll see what happens. A lot of people kind of were hating on them, saying they wouldn't have even made it past the Bucks if they were healthy. Or like the Heat, which I don't really like doing these like what ifs or like
hypotheticals. You always lose in a hypothetical.
Like, it's just like they made it there. You got to give them their flowers.
Right.
I think obviously they would have liked to win the title, but if you like look at their full year, I think that's a pretty good year. You want to be hoisting the trophy at the end of the year, obviously.
Yeah. Look at it. They were up 2-1 in the finals. Put it that way. They were up 2-1 in the finals. Yeah. Two wins away. So
I think their inexperience just was on full display.
Yeah.
And just the lack of firepower, because the Warriors seemed like they just had a little bit more firepower.
Right.
So it was a good series. I liked what we saw and all. It was the Warriors,
man. Going back to Wiggins though, this is exactly who Minnesota thought he would be. That athletic, sort of do it all type of guy. Give you 18 to 20 a game as well as playing good defense.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say, I don't know if you remember when they first traded for Wiggins. There's a lot of hate, a lot of people hating on it.
Oh, I was one of them. I was like, Wiggins.
I really liked the signing because you're not coming into the Warriors. You're not expecting him to be a number 1 option. Maybe you're not even a number 2 option. You're just expecting him to be able to produce. For me, I was hoping 15 to 18 points a game with good defense, and he's done that ever since
exactly what he did.
Yeah, exactly. Like ever since he's been on the Warriors, he's been solid, man. There's some times where I'm like, yo, what the hell is he doing? It's the regular season and it's a long season, but during the playoffs, he showed out every single game. And I mean, he deserves it, man. He locked in, man. He locked in, and he was probably the second best player in the whole series.
Oh, absolutely.
Like it was
absolutely sick. Hey, they were even chanting for Wiggins Finals MVP after that 20-point game. After that 26 he had, they were like, hey, Wiggins, look, he might win that one. Look.
Nah, bro. People were just hating on Steph.
They was hating on Steph because they didn't want him to get one. People didn't want Steph to get one.
Yeah, like come on, man. It was ridiculous, but it was a great series, and for the Warriors to turn it around like that, I didn't expect the Warriors to win the title coming this year. I thought Western Conference Finals would be a good season for them just because new guys coming in and all that. But what Steve Kerr was able to do, get these guys ready. Bob Myers deserves a lot of credit getting all these pieces because the roster compared to last year, it's light and day. You know?
Bro, it's so huge, man. I mean, going back to Wiggins again, it's so huge to have the right things behind you. Like in Minnesota, he didn't have the right. I mean, the front office was in shambles. You didn't have the veteran guys that Golden State has. And for him to turn his like game around like that, I mean, he was a really good scorer in Minnesota. I mean, one year he averaged 24.
Yeah.
But I mean, the defense wasn't there. He didn't lock in on defense. He didn't know how to win. And for him to go to Golden State with a team with veterans that has won before, lead the way, show the ropes.
Yeah.
He's a completely different player.
Yeah. I mean, I think having guys like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, you know, supporting you, telling you, come on, man, like, you know, we need you. We need you to play well for us. And just having the support of those kind of guys, I think that could do a lot for you internally and get you fired up and
absolutely
get the best out of you every time. So shout out to Andrew Wiggins, man. He was huge. The Warriors are the 2022 champions. Love to see it.
I don't know. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say after like 2 bad years, like these last 2 years, the Warriors they were hard to watch. You know, they won 15 games 2 years ago. Last year they get bounced in the playing game, and to come back and win the championship, that's special, man. Special. I'm still a little salty. We didn't get to see Suns and Warriors Western Conference Finals. I really wanted that just because I thought it would be really high level basketball. Suns couldn't hold up their end of the bargain, so I'm not.
Yeah, they
That's
laid an egg for real.
Yeah.
Especially in that game 7, that was bad.
Yeah, but it was overall. I think it was a pretty good series. Obviously, I probably would be saying something different if the Warriors lost. But overall, it was great to see. It's just like as a Warriors fan, man, I've been a fan since like 06. And I used to be excited if the games were like even close, and if they won a game, it was like super special. And then just like to move forward all these years, and just like they're like the ideal organization right now. Like if you want to run an organization, you got to look at them and see what they've been doing, drafting players, their development, bringing in guys who fit their system. It's just amazing, man. It's they had me shedding a tear the other night, man. I was so excited.
Yeah, the 2000s, I can't relate. The Wizards, we had a really good organization. We were it was after the Michael Jordan era of him in the front office, him playing.
You guys were always in the playoffs.
Always in the playoffs.
LeBron.
Pretty much, yep. I mean, it was a win-win for me because I've always been a Bron fan. So I was like, all right, Bron, go win a chip. If we not gonna do it, Bron, go win a chip. Right. And I mean, he didn't win one his first stint, but he ended up getting one in Cleveland. So
yeah, I'm low-key bummed I can't go to the parade. Unfortunately, I went to the 2 parades. I went to the 2015 and then the 2017 parade. So that was always super fun. Kind of bummed I can't go, but it's I'm glad the Warriors able to get it done, man. Yeah, just a special year to be a Warriors fan.
So y'all repeating or what?
We'll see how the.
Don't give me no politically correct answer. Yes or no? Are y'all repeating?
I listen. Well, the Warriors have a lot of decisions to make. They got to re-sign people. Kevon Looney's a free agent, so that's something. If they can't re-sign him, that's pretty big. That's a guy who played every game this year.
But think about who could step in that place. James Wiseman.
Yeah, James. Yeah, I'm super high on James Wiseman. I think he could be really good if he could come in and give you 12 and 8 with a block a game, like, and he's a lob threat, big guy who has 6 fouls. So that's something big. I can't really look too far ahead. I got to see how everything else plays out, like who they sign and whatnot. So we'll see. I'm sure a lot of people see what the Warriors were able to do, and they'll be all right with taking a little less money possibly and trying to win a championship. Shit, don't let Steph Curry get 5 rings, bro.
We ain't worried about that.
Nah,
We ain't worried about that.
no, but overall, the season was fun. It was a fun NBA season. I think there's a lot of high level basketball being played. But the East is getting better. The West is on the come up. It's next year. I think it should be a really good NBA season. We'll see how everything plays out. Hopefully, there's no
Hope
major
so, man.
injuries
I was
and
just about to
shit
say,
like that.
every year I'm hyped over the season, and then somebody gets hurt.
Yeah.
Right, it just messes everything up. So,
Yeah. But even like looking into next year, like thinking of teams who are going to be better, like the Clippers will be better, the Nuggets will be better, the Pelicans will be better. I think the T-Wolves will even take another step. They made the playoffs this past year. I think they'll be better as well. I'm sure. I think Memphis will be better, and then like look at the East. I'm sure the East is going to keep getting better. The Bucks will be healthy. The Nets will. It's who knows what the hell is up with them, but
yeah.
overall, I think they'll be better. So I'm glad this season was a success overall for the Warriors, and just it was a good season. There's a lot of good games. I enjoyed it, but I'm sad now, man. I've been watching a lot of baseball lately, some NHL.
Yeah. Are the Tampa Bay Lightning still in it? I know they have a chance to three.
Yes. Well, yes, they're down 2-0 right now, though.
Ooh.
They lost. They got killed last night. So yeah, I'm a big hockey guy nowadays. But yeah, man. You have any final thoughts about the series and whatnot? I basically said my piece.
Yeah, nothing. Just looking forward to next year. Always looking forward to next year.
Yeah.
Free
So
agency
far-
and all that. So
Yeah, no, exactly. So for our listeners, thank you for locking in, tuning in. Of course, we always appreciate the support. If you haven't
about you
already,
guys.
like and subscribe. If you want to follow the IG, follow the IG at the Two Man Game Podcast. Yep. And we'll see you guys soon. We're gonna figure out what we can do. I mean,
we'll have stuff with the draft and things like that.
Yeah.
We'll have random topics like top 10 all time or favorite.
We'll try to get
of,
some
we'll
controversial, some controversial topics, and have you guys give us your thoughts and all that good stuff.
We'll have guest speakers on, guys who played the game before. So
yeah, we have a future pro lined up coming on soon, so be on the lookout for that episode. That should be coming. We'll get that out probably within the next month or something, depending on our schedules and all that good stuff. So I'm glad we were able to get on here, chop it up. It's only the beginning. This is our first NBA season with the podcast and everything, and I think it was a pretty good experience for us.
Man, forget the NBA season, man. We did it.
Yeah,
we here, man. We went through the whole season. We got pretty much everything we wanted to do done in terms of topics, and we didn't get the conference finals. We apologize for that, but it was just a quick turnaround from that to the finals. And with editing,
you were moving and all that stuff. So
right. So
it's understandable.
But yeah,
for this next season, keep going.
Yeah, we'll be better. That's it.
Yeah, no, I think for this next season, we're gonna focus on being more consistent. That's something that we need to do better, and more platforms. So be on the lookout for that, people. It's the summertime now, so we'll have a little bit more time to figure all this good stuff out. But once again, thank you. If you made it this far, shout out to you. And we'll see you guys next time. Go Warriors.